How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be talking about the possibility of a New World TV show in the future, and we'll be discussing how it could work. Before we get into it, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps out massively. Now, I'll start off by saying there's currently no news about a possible New World TV show, but because the game is produced by Amazon Game Studios, and the game is getting very popular, I would not be surprised if they decide to make a series about the game for their Prime Video streaming services. The lore for the game is already there, plus there's a built-in fan base, so it's really a no-brainer for Amazon. Throughout this video, I want to discuss how I'd like to see it made, plus I will go over my experiences with the only other MMORPG I've played that had a television series going on around it, in Defiance. I'd also love to get feedback from you all on if you like my visions for the series, or if you might have an idea for a way it can be done better. And then, if enough people leave feedback in the comments below, I can make a part 2 to this video, discussing some of the better ideas and fleshing out how it could all work together. To begin with, I want the story throughout the Season 1 to be across 2 timelines, kind of like how The Witcher did it. It will be jumping back and forth between the 2 timelines following 2 different sets of people. In the first one, you'll have the story of Isabella and the early days in Eternum when she first came onto the island. Any of you who have played the story mode a while back before the new cinematics, who could only get lore from reading the books found around the map, might have missed it, but Isabella has a fantastic backstory, and it's really a great story to look into. If you don't want to redo the whole story mode, you can check out the video on screen by Sir Medieval. He put together a very in-depth video about Isabella's entire story, and even animated some of the scenes in his video. It's by far one of the better New World videos I've ever seen, and I highly recommend it. There will be a link to it in the video description. While the story of Isabella coming to New World is going on, and she's slowly becoming manipulated by other forces, and eventually becoming the leader of the corrupted, there'll be a second story going on during the time period of when you start up the game of New World. It can be a group of travelers that comes to Eternum for whatever reason. Maybe they have a sick friend that is dying, and they heard stories of supernatural healing properties on the island. And then, just like we did when we played through the story, their ship crashes, and they all wash ashore. I'm thinking maybe a group of 4 friends, all following the traditional Trinity archetype in New World. So like a brutish tank type, a more book-smart healer, a kind of mysterious mage-type damage dealer, and then their sick friend who needs healing, who might or might not succumb to the corruption eventually and betray the whole squad. All the time while you're being introduced to this group of adventurers, you're also seeing Isabella's evolution from a likable young lady who is being dealt a rough hand in life into a madwoman as the corruption takes over her. And then, eventually you realize at some point, these 2 timelines will eventually collide, and the likable adventurers will need to defeat Isabella if they are indeed going to save their friend. It follows quite a few basic tropes when it comes to television, but because of how beautiful of a world Eternum is, and the lore being so rich, I think a lot can be done with this basic premise. Eventually, the first season will come to an end with an episode called Tempest Heart, where the timeline will merge and the adventurers will go through trials similar to what happens within the dungeon, in the game, and put an end to Isabella. From there, they will tease next season's even greater threat like they did at the end of the dungeon, and we will be caught up to the lore of the game, but that's when the fun part starts. Once the game and TV show are caught up, whenever a new season comes out, each week they can drop a new episode, and link to it in-game with events and quests. This is where Defiance comes in. If you never heard of this game, it was an MMORPG that came out in 2013. It wasn't anything special, but for its time it was very unique and did some things very well. One of the coolest things they did was their integration between the TV show and their game. So basically, every week you'd sit down and watch the TV show, and then after that, you would log into the game, and there'd be quests related to that episode. So for example, if this was the New World TV show, if the group was attacked by some kind of big Azoth monster in the episode, then after the episode finishes, you can log into New World, and there will be a massive world event that spawns every once in a while of that same monster with some kind of cool rewards. Not only do I think this adds limitless cool new things for the developers and producers to play around with, but this would be a really awesome way to feel more connected to the world of Eternum. There's already a bunch of us who love this game and would support the TV show, and it would be really awesome to be watching a show based on it. Even small things like when the group discovers a camp of fellow survivors and you see it's called Requarter, or seeing live action versions of some of the monsters in the game, it would be really awesome to see. But I'd love to get all of your feedback on this idea to help flesh it out. How would you like to see this show play out? And which actress would you like to see play Isabella? I think Cate Blanchett, like how she looked in Thor, could do a great job if she can pull off a good Spanish accent. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It all helps out massively. But until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video. If you'd like to see more New World content, then click on any of the videos on screen now. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.